What is going on? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to be breaking down Jordan Reed's brand new 2025 NFL mock draft. If you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are not new, you're probably up to date on what the hell has happened to me. I was in a pretty tragic accident, so you guys can go over to my Twitter to see some details. Unfortunately, there's going to be no mock draft this week. I'm under concussion protocol. You usually tell I have a face light on me. I have blue light glasses to kind of like keep my mind like this. I just ended up seeing a neurologist earlier today. They said about 30 minutes of screen time at a time, probably per day, is going to be max for me. So next week, when my brain's going to be a little bit back to it, we'll get back to the mock drafts. So super excited for that. But, you know, being able to at least react and give some thoughts on Jordan Reed, who is a friend of mine, I guess, air quotes friend. Got to talk to him a bit in Mobile, and we've chatted a little bit, but being able to talk about his stuff, it's not going to challenge my brain too much. So hopefully you guys are having a good day. You guys have been awesome in terms of giving me all the love and support in the world, so thank you guys for that. Yeah, we're going to try to make this simple, make it quick, make it easy, and, you know, we'll get back to it. I'm very grateful to be alive. I've been dealing with quite a few injuries, so you know, again, really just kind of grateful to be here. The fact that I don't have to wear a neck brace right now is kind of a godsend. My neck's still kind of messed up, so if I do kind of shift my shoulders a little bit, it's because I'm trying my best to at least look a little normal. But, you know, I love you guys. You guys deserve some content, and, you know, for me, it drives me a little bit crazy. So let's get on into this, starting out with the number 1 overall selection. Let's get a little bit more hype into here. The Browns go Shedeur Sanders. Okay, why the hell are we, I'm interested to see, this is based on current standings, okay. The Browns go Shedeur Sanders at number 1. Shedeur's moved up my quarterback board. He's, I think, now QB4. Granted, that might be, or I think it might be QB3 at the moment. Bottom line, I'm not a huge fan of the quarterback class anyway, so it's not saying too much. But Shedeur's definitely somebody who I've warmed up to significantly. He was someone who I was originally very high on when he went to Colorado. And then you guys have seen the roller coaster of a ride that has been my opinion on Shedeur Sanders. I send Shedeur to the Browns all the time. Granted, I do it usually in the second round, but I mean, I understand. I try as much as I can to understand or try to put Shedeur as a first round pick. When you don't do trades, it's not very easy. But Shedeur Sanders to the Browns is a pick I've made before. I could see it happening. Then the Patriots go Travis Hunter. So the Colorado boys go 1 and 2. It'd be intriguing to see how Travis Hunter fits into the Patriots. I'd prefer to go after left tackle myself. But Travis Hunter, I mean, he is one of the best players that we've seen pound for pound, especially because of the fact that he's dominant on both sides of the ball. He's not just a gadget guy. Then you got the Panthers going Abdul Carter. It's a pick that I've made for the Panthers. Very, very talented edge rusher who's just done better and better and better. He had a lot of issues at linebacker in terms of missed tackles, and, you know, it looks like a lot of that has been alleviated. Most recently versus USC, he was actually their top-graded edge rusher, a top-graded defender for that matter. So great job by Abdul. Super excited there for him. Then we have a trade. We got the Raiders going up to select Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. Jacksonville trades back, which I don't fully agree with, because when you have Will Johnson on the board, I think that's desperate for that's a big key thing for Jacksonville to acquire. But we'll see how far they jump back. It says projected trade with 1-5, so we'll see what's up there. But Cam Ward slipped to be my QB 4 or 5. Again, slip in my mind at the moment. Granted, I think we kind of know why. But Cam Ward has a ton of arm talent. It's just the poor decisions are coming up more and more. He has 8 or 9 big missed, 8 or 9 turnover-worthy plays on the year, and like 6 of them were in the past 2 weeks. So needs to clean that up. You know, I was giving him credit at the start of the year for being a lot more decisive, yet not as risky. And now he's kind of like getting a little bit more risk happy. And I'm not really a big fan of that, because that's in the NFL how you end up throwing multiple interceptions. Pick number 5, you got the Titans going James Pierce. Love seeing going from Knoxville to Nashville. Tennessee could use an edge rusher, but I prefer to go after offensive tackle myself. I don't really think this would be a bad pick by any means. James Pierce is a very solid edge rusher. Then we go to the Rams. They go Will Johnson at 6. You know, Oh, 1-5 was 1-5 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I should have known that. But the Rams go Will Johnson, my favorite player in the class. I think that's an excellent move for the Rams. It's kind of the dream pick for them. Jaguars then go Will Campbell. If you trade back and you lose out on Will Johnson, going after the second best player in the class that's healthy is certainly a great choice. You end up getting yourself a top-tier offensive lineman. Whether he plays guard or tackle, the Jaguars get themselves someone who should be on the team for an extended period of time. Then we have the Bengals going Mason Graham. I don't mind it at all. You pair him back up with Chris Jenkins. So big fan of that duo for the future. And then you get some good explosiveness in there. Granted, I would prefer a larger defensive interior, maybe in round 2. You talk about Deone Walker because of the fact that the Bengals could end up trying to use him to replace DJ Reader. But at the end of the day, Mason Graham's a damn good consolation prize. So continuing on, we got the Jets going Nick Scourton. Edge rusher seems to be a thing the Jets like to take in the first round. I would only say that for the Jets, you look at the style of edge rusher they've been acquiring. It's not necessarily the largest size. So I don't know if Nick Scourton's going to fit hand in glove just because of the fact that, I'd have faith in Jermaine Johnson. If you think Jermaine Johnson's donezo because of that Achilles injury, Nick Scourton will fit perfectly into that role. I'm just thinking more so in terms of Hassan Reddick's role, Will McDonald's role. It seems to be a little bit more of the Jalen Walker profile. Then you got the Giants going Carson Beck at 10. I just feel like this is a little bit too, I understand it's not a great draft class, so try to take swings on the big value positions. I get it. I'm just not really that excited about the QB class to the point where 3 in the top 10 is a big stretch for me. But at the same time, the Giants need a QB. Carson Beck is an instant system fit, so I could totally see it happening. I just don't know if I would see it at pick 10. The Dolphins get aggressive and trade up with the Cardinals to select Kelvin Banks Jr. He's going to be a really good guard in the short run and potentially a tackle in the long run if need be. Regardless, you're getting yourself a top-tier offensive lineman. I respect it. Then you got the Saints going T-Mac. It's a pick I made a billion times myself. He's a really good complement to what they have in Olave, Shaheed, as well as now Means. So you're going to have a really well-balanced receiving core there. Then we go to the Cardinals via that trade back, and they get Mikael Williams. I'm still not there with him, but of course they're talking about an ankle sprain being the reason he is out. I'm excited to see how he ends up performing. He's going to be playing against Texas soon, so excited to see how he performs against them. But so far this year, it's been a big letdown. I think Mikael should remain he should end up remaining in college for an extra year to be fully healthy and then end up coming out with a maybe less populated edge class. Then we have the Colts moving up to select Malachi Starks. It's a pick I make almost every single time for the Colts. So big fan of that. Dallas Cowboys get my dream fit for Ashton Genty. And, you get yourself a top-tier running back who probably is going to be going in the top 10, even if not the top 5. This is a true 3-down back that has proven to have unbelievable contact balance and even really solid pass protection capabilities. Then we have the Denver Broncos going Luther Burden, another pick I've made in very recent memory, giving a really solid check-down option there for Bo Nix and someone who can create a lot after the catch. So you're giving yourself a long-term option with somebody who's going to be a really key addition for relieving stress off Bo Nix, even though he's doing a good job as it is. Then you got the Eagles going Jalen Walker. That's my favorite fit for Jalen. It's that, the Cardinals, etc. Jalen Walker is an absolute stud. I think that's a great pick for the Eagles. It's going to be your Andrew Van Ginkel in that Fangio system. So I'm extremely excited to see how he ends up performing. Then we have the Bears going Jonas Savagnia. So I made this pick again for the Bears. I don't do it in the first round, but Jonas coming off his best week, 85 pass blocking grade. So I'm excited for that. I do think he might end up even being a center, though. I know a lot of people, including the NFL Stock Exchange, mentioned that he does have center versatility. And for the Bears, having all 3 positions, not a bad move. Then we have the Niners going Shamar Stewart. I have not graded Shamar. I'll try to do that next week because I will be off of work, but again, with the limited amount of screen time, I have to be honest with myself and you guys with my capabilities. This is already pushing it as it is. So evaluating talent, I was very happy that I had a draft saved of my reevaluation of Sam Brown on Miami. But Regardless, the Niners going Shamar Stewart. I go edge for them in the first. I'd prefer Princely Umamiel in here, but at the same time, I haven't fully graded Shamar Stewart, so TBD on that. Seahawks going Cam Williams is perfect. He's physical, he's aggressive, he has great length, and he's a bit raw, so he could even go back to school, but the Seahawks need a right tackle. That's going to be an absolute godsend for him. Then we got the Chargers going Deone Walker. I'd be very surprised to see Deone go over Kenneth Grant for this defense just because the defensive system is, I mean, obviously the one that Kenneth Grant was once in. So I think the system fits there for him. But regardless, Deone Walker is a fantastic player with a ton of upside. Just needs to be a bit more consistent, lower those pads. But close to 10% run stop percentage. That's a really good foundation to have. Ben Morrison tore his ACL, so it sucks. Or no, excuse me. He's out for the year with a hip injury. Everybody else seems to tear their ACL, but regardless, he's out for the year, so the Commanders end up sniping him at 22. I highly doubt that he would end up coming out just because of the fact that this is a very populated corner class, and Ben Morrison is a stud and deserves to be a top 5 pick. So then we got the Bills going Kenneth Grant, super high ceiling player. Honestly, personally, if I were to switch him and Deone, I would think this is a perfectly acceptable spot for either. So you're getting yourself good pass rushing from the interior, along with an increased ability to play the run. So I'm very happy to see that Kenneth Grant is continuing to perform better and better. Then you got the Packers going to Terrio Davis, defensive back out of Arizona. He just has hard time changing directions. I don't know in a very press man scheme if that's going to be very I don't know if that's going to be loved too much in the system. I'd prefer if I were going to go after Terrio for the Packers for him to have the capability to go into that backfield and be like pretty much more of a Swiss Army knife. So that's going to be where my head is at in terms of that. But if you're trying to replace Eric Stokes, I don't think Terrio Davis is going to be that guy. If I'm going to try to replace Eric Stokes, and honestly, I think this is a perfect system fit for the defense, that is actually going to be Davison Igbinosun. Then we continue. You got Isaiah Bond for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually personally like this a lot. It actually brings a good speed element with someone who can play on the boundary, who is not just a speed element. That's a big win for me. So I'm very excited to see if Pittsburgh can actually land Isaiah Bond. I would be just doing backflips for days. Then we have the Falcons going Landon Jackson. Edge is a perfectly fine option. Landon's been doing a very solid job this year, so I'm not gonna like try to crap on him. He's just been very consistent. He's a very unique build. If you can end up making that work, like tip my cap off to you. I just don't really think that Raheem Morris, based on the system that he even ran in LA, I don't think he's looking for a 280-pound edge rusher. I think you want to have a good balance there. But Landon Jackson, to me, is not necessarily the player that I would want to have, because I don't need flexibility if I'm the Falcons. I just want to have a really solid edge rusher. And Landon Jackson is a little bit early for me, but excited that he gets the type of love that he does. Ravens then go Arianti Urzuri. That's a great pick in my opinion. You can end up kicking him to guard for the short term, and then you have him. Ronnie Stanley technically is the final year of his contract, but Arianti Urzuri, I think you should pretty much franchise tag Stanley and let him mentor Arianti Urzuri as he continues to grow. Then you have Tampa Bay going Colston Loveland, great selection. Even though that I am a dynasty owner of Cade Otton, I fully support this pick, and I've made it myself. You need to upgrade that position big time. Then you got the Lions going Jack Sawyer. It definitely feels like a Dan Campbell kind of guy. He's been doing a great job this year. I'm a big fan of it. I do think that I prefer other edge rushers over him, but he's done a very solid job this year. Every time I've regraded him, he's gotten better and better and better. That's a trait I love to see, so he's a player that I do support. Then we have the Texans going Walter Nolan. I've had him trade up for Walter Nolan, so I'm 100% in agreement with this. He's up to 305 pounds. He's had a fantastic year. Would not be surprised to see him go back if he really does believe in himself to be a top 10 pick. Then you got the Chiefs going Emeka Egbuka. Honestly, it just depends on how much they have faith in Rashee Rice's role. And, going forward, if there is the capability to kind of have almost a second, because I think Emeka Egbuka's strengths were very similar to Raw's coming out in terms of the after a catch ability, maybe just like the more consistency. And I really do like the fact that you can end up adding some extra firepower in there. Emeka, if healthy, is one of the best receivers in the country. He just hasn't been recently until this year, so thank God for that. Then we have the Vikings ending this off with Derek Harmon. I love the shout out to Derek Harmon here. I prefer to look at the running back room, look at the corner room first, because Davison Igbinosun is such a Flores guy, physical, heavy hitter, just a really really talented corner who I think should be probably higher on my list again. But at the same time, I have to realize that in non-press man systems, he's going to fail. Well, even in zone, he actually does a pretty solid job. But if there's any defense that uses a lot of off man coverage, he's gonna suck. Just gonna call it out as it is. But for Flores, you put this guy face to face with any receiver, he's going to be one of the most physical corners you'll ever face. So I'll put that in there, but I love the Derek Harmon shout out. Really good pass rusher. Needs help on the run defense side, but honestly, I do love the fact that you're getting yourself some extra juice on the interior. So that's going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me as you guys do. I do love you guys, and I'm really grateful to be here and have this opportunity to continue running the show. So excited for next week, but for the meantime, see you on the far side. Peace.